Hello everyone, it's Miss Rofl. Welcome to my new video. Ever since the Deviation Fusion feature was introduced in Once Human, and especially since I started making fusion-related content, I've been getting the same questions over and over again about the same topic. How do you get Crackshot? Where do I farm Psychic Kid? Is there a fast way to get these traits? I've been farming for days and still nothing. And other similar questions. And honestly, I avoided making this video for a long time because there's one important thing people need to understand first. There is no secret method that guarantees Crackshot, Psychic Kid, or any other rare golden trait. No boss with a high drop rate, no magical deviation, no farming route that suddenly gives you these traits in 5 minutes. A lot of players will say, farm Shadow Hound, farm this specific deviation, spam this boss over and over. And yes, sometimes people do get lucky that way. But these traits are extremely rare and the whole system is heavily RNG-based. One player might get Crackshot after a few runs, another player might spend hundreds of runs without seeing it even once. That's just how RNG works. So, if somebody tells you there is a guaranteed farming method, there really isn't. But because so many people keep asking about it, I still wanted to make this video to explain the different ways players farm these traits, how the process actually works, and how you can speed up the grind a little by combining multiple farming methods instead of relying only on one. Because in the end, when it comes to rare combat traits, it all comes down to RNG and giving yourself as many chances as possible. Let's go. There is a huge variety of deviation traits in Once Human, but when it comes to fusing a combat deviation, especially a perfect one, almost everybody wants to have one of these traits on their future deviation. Crackshot, Psychic Kid, or Heavy and Solid. And today we are talking about these traits. The first and the most important thing you need to understand is that those traits are combat traits. For those who are not familiar with trait classes like General, Combat, Territory, and others, I will show you how do we know that trait is combat, or how do we know that it's territory. It's simple. This is just an example just to make you understand trait classes a little bit better. Here is let's say we want to fuse these two together, and here we see potential outcome. It can be a Shattered Maiden or it can be a Nutcracker. So, well, we are not actually going to fuse them, so this is just for educational purposes. So, let's say if we click on Maiden, we see the potential traits outcome. So, on Maiden, we can have 3 types of traits. First one, general trait. General traits are marked with this sign, with a rhombus like this. And general traits, they can be present on absolutely any deviation, no matter the type, combat, territory, or crafting. So that's why this trait is called general. So here we have 2 possible traits, and yeah, in each group, you see, only one trait can be active at a time. And it's even written here. Only one of these traits can be active at a time. And the same applies to other trait classes as well. Next, combat. You see, it's marked with this sign, with lightning. So this combat trait can be present only on combat deviation. And the next group, deviated trait. It's marked with this, I don't know, what is the sign? It makes me think about a horse or something, like a toy horse. I don't know how to call it, but I see a horse here. So, these traits, deviated traits, they can be also present on all types of deviations. But deviated traits, we are not actually farming them, we are adding them to deviations. Because when you are farming deviations, none of them will drop with this deviated trait. Deviated traits, it's what we add during fusion. Whenever you will be farming deviations for traits, you will get deviations with general trait and then combat trait if you are farming combat deviations. And if you are farming, let's say, territory deviations, instead of combat trait, you will have territory trait. You see, you have a territory terminal sign here. So territory traits can be found only on territory deviations. Combat traits can be found only on combat deviations. So for crafting deviations, instead of territory or combat trait, you have a gadget trait, and it's marked with a snowflake like this. So you see, it's basically the thing I wanted to explain you first. So if you want Crackshot, Heavy and Solid, Psychic Kid, or any other combat trait, you need to farm combat deviations. It can be Zeno Purifier, it can be Brave George, it can be absolutely any combat deviation. It can be Voodoo Doll, it can be Butterfly's Emissary, or even Lone Wolf's Whisper. Yeah, all these deviations can potentially have Crackshot, Psychic Kid, or Heavy and Solid on them. So all you need to do basically is to farm combat deviations. Yes, my friends, you will have to farm combat deviations a lot. But what you can do to help yourself, it's to farm them in different ways. Like this, maybe you will obtain the desired deviation trait a little bit sooner. So what are the ways of farming combat deviations with rare golden traits? So let's start with passive deviation farming. So here is my garden. You see, it's pretty big. Here I have planters as well. So what I do is I set up a huge garden and I plant a lot of onions or a lot of mushrooms, depending on the traits I would like to obtain. So lately I've been planting mostly mushrooms because I needed territory traits, and also I needed mushrooms for fertilizer. You see, there are plenty of deviations here. So if you want to have a chance of obtaining Crackshot, Psychic Kid, Heavy and Solid, or other combat traits, you need to plant a lot of onions. So first of all, when you plant onions, you need to do it with one of these fertilizers, or with mutation boost, or with improved compound fertilizer. Well, at the time of Lunar Oracle, you can also use red enhanced fertilizers. So you need to use everything which increases the mutation rates. So improved compound fertilizer or mutation boost, depending on what you have now. This will increase the chance of mutation, and when mutation happens, there is a chance that instead of crops, you will obtain a deviation. Repeat it every day with many planters, and one day you can get lucky and obtain a Grumpy Bulb with Crackshot or Heavy and Solid or Psychic Kid on it. It has already happened to me. Look, here are my screenshots. I took them, well, many months ago, not gonna lie. This way, you won't obtain hundreds and thousands of Crackshots and Psychic Kids, but it can happen that you will obtain it this way. So, important thing to say is that you also need to add Buzzy Bees to your territory, because Buzzy Bees, they also increase the mutation rate of your crops. So, Buzzy Bees plus fertilizer for mutation, and of course, a lot of onion seeds. I have plenty of seeds, so make a lot of seeds and plant them on repeat, but preferably with mutation increasing fertilizers and with Buzzy Bees. If you play on Way of Winter scenario, and if you have upgraded thermal tower, it can also help you to increase mutation chances even more. But even on Manibus, you can obtain set buff traits with a little chance. So the more you plant, the more deviations you obtain this way, the higher the chance that one day you will get a desired rare golden trait. Once you've set up your passive deviation farm, the next thing you can do is to get your daily free deviations. In case if you didn't know, you can get one free deviation daily. You can go to Deadsville, Myers Market, Greywater Camp, Helgrasine, and Blackfell. Well, if you're on Minibus. If you are playing on Endless Dream or Way of Winter scenario, you can also have securement units in camps in the northern part of the map. Each of camps gives you 1 free deviation per day. So, if you want to try your luck, teleport daily to each of camps available on your scenario. Go to the securement units and claim your free deviations. Sometimes they will be crappy, but sometimes you can get lucky and get a 5-5, for example, this way, or to get a deviation with a rare trait, which can be a Crackshot or Psychic Kid, for example. You never know what can you find in these free units. So don't be lazy and claim your free deviations daily. When you're exploring and opening loot crates in settlements, don't skip weapon crates like this one, because weapon crates can contain Zeno Purifier Deviation, and Zeno Purifier Deviation can have a Psychic Kid, Crackshot, or Heavy Solid on it. So don't miss these chests, and don't hesitate to take Zeno Purifiers out of these chests. Because yeah, Zeno Purifier itself, it's a useless deviation, but it can have a trait which can be really helpful for you. The next, and probably one of the most popular ways of farming Crackshot, Psychic Kid, and other golden combat traits, is farming Shadow Hound. You can farm it actually on any difficulty, I would say, because deviation drops are random, but I'm farming it on Pro. Upon defeating the boss, you'll have a chance of obtaining Lone Wolf's Whisper deviation here in the bubble, and you can find one in the loot as well, like here, but it doesn't happen often. So sometimes you will have no deviations at all, but sometimes you can have even 2 after killing the boss. So that's why this way of farming Crackshot and Psychic Kid traits, that's why this way is so popular, because Shadow Hound is relatively easy to kill, and well, you can farm it on repeat, and if it drops a deviation, it will be a combat one. Lone Wolf's Whisper, so this deviation can potentially have one of the traits people are looking for. But again, having Lone Wolf Whisper drop, it doesn't mean that you will have Crackshot or Psychic Kid on it. So that's basically how people are farming it. Come here, kill Shadow Hound, rinse and repeat until you will get Crackshot. From what I heard, it takes at least few hundred runs to obtain your first Crackshot or Psychic Kid, or Heavy and Solid. So guys, it's really rare, so don't think that you will kill Dog 10 times and you will obtain the desired trait. So Shadow Hound is not the only boss you can farm, of course. You can also go and farm Forsaken Giant, that's what also many people do. Forsaken Giant can drop you Brave George. It's a relatively new deviation, which is a combat deviation, and it can have the traits you want. But keep in mind that Forsaken Giant also drops Nutcracker, and Nutcracker won't have the traits you want, because it's a territory deviation. You can also farm Ravenous Hunter here, but Ravenous Hunter, it's one of the most annoying bosses to kill in my opinion, so yeah. I mean, if you want to farm Ravenous Hunter farm, it has a chance of dropping Festering Gel, which is a combat deviation and also can have the traits you are looking for. So if you are on Minibus, let's say, those are probably the most popular farming options. But if you play on Deviation Survive, Capture, Preserve scenario, you have another option, and this option is capturing combat deviations and hoping that one of them will have a rare combat trait. A lot of people are farming these traits on Shattered Maiden, so you can find it in resource tracking, and then you go to the settlement where it can be found. Well, I saw people are often farming it here at Forsaken Monolith. So you see, you can find Shattered Maidens here and there. You see here, here. You see, there is also one maiden there. You see, You see even 2 maidens here, 1 maiden here, 1 maiden there. So there are many maidens. So what people do is they gather maidens in one place and try to capture them with the same grenade. For those who haven't played on Deviations scenario, grenades are these things. So it's things we use to capture deviations on this scenario. Not gonna lie, I've never obtained the rare golden traits this way. So if you are determined to obtain those rare traits on deviation scenario and you don't want to import them from other scenarios, well, then you can try this way of capturing maidens. Some people, they capture other deviations, but anyway, it needs to be a combat deviation. So yeah, as you can see, rare combat traits, they are not so easy to farm. Yeah, there are multiple ways of obtaining them, but they all take time and efforts. But I have a good news for you. If you are playing on Deviation scenario, there is a guaranteed way to obtain a Zeno purifier with 2 traits. And one of these traits is Psychic Kid. Another one is Covert Energy 5, which is also great for combat deviations, but that is the general trait which can be found on any other deviation. But the biggest value of that Zeno purifier is a Psychic Kid trait, which you can obtain and duplicate to use on your deviations later. Me, I can show you this Zeno purifier because I used it long time ago. So yeah, thanks to that Zeno, I could copy a Psychic Kid on my other deviations, like this festering gel, for example. And the best thing about this method is that you can get a guaranteed Psychic Kid just by doing a quest line, but it's available only on Deviations scenario. And yeah, important thing, this is a side quest line, so you won't obtain this quest just by doing main story progression. In my video description, I will drop a link to my video talking about this quest, where to take it, and how to complete it to get your Zeno Purifier reward. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope it was helpful. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and good luck to you with farming rare golden combat traits. Bye bye.